What's good, y'all? Welcome back. This is episode 3. We're on Spotify and YouTube. So last week we do got one new member with us, and this is over here.
I'm Seth Corbin. I'm Cleveland till I die. It's Cleveland this, Cleveland that, like Cavs, Browns, Guardians. Don't care. Cleveland's number one. That's all you need to know.
All right.
I like that intro.
Yeah, he's bold with it. All right, so we're going to do the NBA this week one more time for y'all because it went down in the NBA. The first thing I wanted to start with was Harden. So everybody thought he was going to go to Houston, stuff like that, but he actually picked up his option of $35 million and then requested a trade. That's not the first time he's done that.
So isn't that what, 2 or 3 times actually?
Yeah. So once again, Harden wants out of there, and he does it to Daryl Morey again. So he's seen this already happen in Houston, and this is his guy, and then he ups and does it again. So thoughts on that?
Well, I think James Harden, just for the Philly as a whole.
Right.
If James Harden leaves, my thoughts immediately go, how do you get Joel Embiid to buy in to want to stay in Philly? Because what's stopping him from requesting a trade right after? Because if you get rid of James Harden, they got Tyrese Maxey, but Tobias Harris is aging. And I don't know, how do you, I guess my question is, how do you get Joel Embiid to stay with that team if you trade Harden? Who are you looking to get back that's going to make him stay?
So one thing I did see regarding Harden doing that is that the front office is still working with him. They want to bring him back, but we've seen it time and time again with Harden requesting a trade. Running from the grind, he ain't no Dame. Well, he just ran from the grind too, but anyway, I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily a 76ers fault. I think Harden's kind of more of they used to call Kyrie the toxic player, which I'm not necessarily disagreeing, but I think Harden's just on the same level for talking about that. I think they were still a competing team. Run it back one more year, players going to get better. Could have built a little bit better in free agency, but because of him requesting this trade, it kind of put the 76ers in a weird spot on what to do at the moment. So I don't know. They're just kind of to see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
And yeah, to kind of piggyback off of what Seth was saying, I see what you're saying, but I feel like Embiid's in kind of a mold where he's 2 years ago he wanted Beal, and instead he got Harden. And playing with Harden, it's a lot of ups, but there's some downs too.
He's not the same exact player he was.
Right.
So,
the drama that he just brought onto this team, to me, it feels like a Harden thing, not I got to get out of Philly thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think the conversation of James Harden wanting to win is completely dead. Because
you have the reigning MVP on your team too.
Well, yeah, and he's had so many chances on great teams to actually stay there and build something and actually compete more than 1 year, and just for them to see they're in, the second round, they were close to, they have the pieces in place to actually compete, and then he wants out of there. I don't know. I just don't think James Harden will ever win a championship.
I don't know.
He kind of conducts himself.
I think, kind of like what you said, I think Harden kind of messed with even this team having a chance to build around him and Embiid. You have Tyrese Maxey still in a rookie contract for now, maybe one more year before they sign an extension with him. But I think with Harden doing that, it kind of left the front office in a weird position. Is Harden going to leave? Do we have to build different players around him? But now the whole free agency, good players are basically gone. So the 76ers, sorry, TJ's in the way. Anyway. Sorry, bro. God damn it.
Oh, you good, bro?
Anyway, like I was saying, I think that he did not just mess it up for himself, because now you know what you're getting with Harden. You get him for 1 year, probably going to leave you again next year. No one's going to really want to give a big package for the 76ers for him. And let alone, now the 76ers are in a weird position on what to do. You don't really have the best team to compete, but now you don't know what you're going to do with Harden either. So it's just a weird situation.
Yeah, but I think just like we saw with Ben Simmons, they held on to him till the trade deadline. No matter how bad he wanted out, even if Harden was I don't want to play, Daryl Morey's that strong dude who's going to be no, we just want to play you, and we're just going to wait it out and get the best offer. I don't think he's the type to be let me rush into this. It's going to be interesting to see, since Harden's his guy, what he's going to do. But, yeah, it's just Harden being Harden to me, so.
It is what it is.
Never gonna win. I just said.
He really won't.
He should have just went to Houston, bro. Chalked it up. But no, another unhappy star. Dame requested a trade finally, as we've been talking about since episode 1.
We
He
did,
does, he does
we've been
deserve a
waiting
round
for
of
so
applause.
long.
He does deserve that.
For so long.
Oh, okay. So I love Dame. Like we've already touched about it. We all agreed that he should have left, but I think the way he did it was so bad. Okay, so look. So the Trailblazers were also in a weird position because Dame didn't request a trade right away when free agency started. They give Jeremiah Grant 5 years for $160 million. We'll get into that later. Not a good sign. And then as soon as that signing goes down, which they just locked him for 5 years on a huge contract, Dame's like, nah, I'm up and out of here now. Now you just got one of probably the worst signings in this free agency, and now Dame wants out and strictly wants to go to Miami, even though they have not a good package to get back for Dame. And there's a lot of other teams that could give probably 3 times more than what the Heat could. So I don't know. I like Dame, but it's also a weird situation for the Trailblazers as well. So
Just like I said last week, like on paper, I guess, you can take it as on paper. It's a win-win for both sides, but like now that you did kind of just bring that up, and it really did. Like, I genuinely think that if I was Miami, you could offer someone like Tyler Hero, probably a bunch of picks, maybe more. I don't know if that'd get it done. It sucks that like Dame kind of pigeonholed them into like he only wants to go to this one spot. So like from a Trailblazers perspective,
you don't have a trade clause either. They can.
Yeah, well,
get
yeah,
him
that's
anywhere.
I know, but it's also about doing the player that kind of
He's actually. I heard stuff
kept
about
your
right now.
franchise relevant for the last 10 years.
No, I agree, but I also heard stuff about Dame literally telling other teams like, "Don't trade for me. Like, I don't want to play." For
Which
you."
I mean, I understand that from Dame's point because you don't want to be traded to a bad team that's in the same
Yes.
situation that Portland's in.
So the reports were that his agent was going around calling, say, the Celtics, the Sixers, stuff like that, and he was calling around saying, if you trade for my star, he's going to be an unhappy star, which is wild, which I bet that happens a lot, but this time it got reported out. Now, I'm in the same boat as Kyler. It's like you should have up and said that you didn't want to be here before we just signed Jeremy Grant to kind of try to make you happy. Like, you should have let us know from the jump, like, before we even, like, drafting Scoot is what they would have done anyways, but, like, so they have a good plan going forward. I'm just sick of stars. It's such a stars league, and I'm just sick of seeing it go in their favor. Like, if Portland wants to get the best package, they should get the best
They
package.
should, yeah. I mean, it's like that's what the Trailblazers are stuck in. It's like, do we honor like the player's loyalty for like the last however long he's been here, or do we do what's best for our future? Because the Heat's not it. There's already been reports that they don't want Tyler Hero, and why would they? They have 3 guards that are probably
Yeah, there would have to be a third
yeah,
team.
if not better than Tyler Hero already.
Right.
So I don't know. It's like, what are you like? You're in a weird position now. You just got that contract, and that contract. 5 years for 160? That's a horrible contract for Jeremy Grant. I mean, I think he's a good player, shoots 40% from 3, but he is not like the most athletic. He's kind of a slower player. I don't know. I don't like what happened with that situation.
I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be Portland who gets their way. I mean, it's a business league, so Dame can say, "Oh, I don't want to go play here," and I know he has loyalty there, but at the end of the day, it's a business. So
It is.
I can see Portland going however they want with it.
There's the Jazz.
When it comes down to it.
The Jazz have actually been reaching out trying to get him, and they could probably offer a huge package for
Yeah,
Dame. It's
they'd
like,
have
would
the
you
best
want to take
offer.
a Jazz package or a Miami Heat package?
Exactly.
It's just like,
It's not up to Dame. I mean, like, I know he's saying, "Hey, I don't want to go play here." All this, like, what are you gonna do, bro?
Like,
are you Bradley Beal? No, you're not.
Exactly.
Or is he gonna like ask out again? Because he just signed that contract for. They got him for 3 or 4 more years. So what would you do if we did trade Jaylen Brown for Dame? Are you just gonna pull up and be like, well, I hate to do it again, but I'm gonna ask out again? Like what? No, that would be crazy. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough situation. But we'll see how it plays out down the line. I'm interested. It's crazy. But yeah, free agency. So it popped off. We seen. I mean, I forget what the number was, but in the first 15 minutes, it was.
Dude, phone was blown up.
Yeah,
Especially
phone was
Twitter
blown
was
up.
like,
Twitter is gone.
no.
It didn't even work.
Shim and Woj are going
It
crazy.
was a dumb
on
amount of
tweets.
money given out right
Yeah.
away. Yeah,
Probably
I
billion.
remember.
I think it was
seeing
damn
a
near
tweet
probably
about
$1
something
billion.
like
Yeah.
that.
So we're going to grade each team. We're going to start off with the Atlanta Hawks. So they extended DeJounte Murray 4 years, $120 million. They trade with the Rockets and received Ty Washington, Usman Garuba in 2 seconds. So for me, I graded that a B.
We go over under what we think on the B grade.
Yeah, I just think for me, just to back that up a little bit, it's like I probably would have actually went with a C plus because I just don't like bringing back. I know it's a good contract, but bringing back DeJounte Murray and Trae Young after everything I've seen. So
I agree. I mean, for the B grade, I don't know. It's not a bad for DeJounte Murray. You know what you're getting with him, a defensive playmaker. He's a pretty good, solid player for $30 million a year for the next 4 years. That's not a bad contract at all. Actually, that's actually a really solid contract. I think a B grade's good for the Hawks. Got rid of Collins. They didn't really work out with him very well.
Right.
I think they're going to try some new things out. So I think a B grade's pretty fair for the Hawks sitting there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the B grade. Just like I said last week, you know, the move, the John Collins move set up this move to be able to re-sign DeJounte Murray.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Like it all, you know, if with the cap space that they had, I genuinely think that was one of the better things that they could have done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a B grade's pretty solid for the Hawks.
All right, on to my very own Boston Celtics. We extended Porzingis 2 years of $60 million. We signed O'Shea Brissett for 2 years, $5 million. Derek White got a haircut. I had to throw that in there, and I gave him a grade
Must have
of
been
a
A+.
C. Because I do not like the Porzingis extension this early. I really don't.
As I say, you know better than anybody, but the actual move of getting Porzingis,
Right.
awesome. But yeah, giving him that much money in that short period of time. But in his defense, he just did come off like the best season he has had since he was healthy with the Knicks. So
I'm not gonna lie.
it's quite the gamble, but
I
it could
like
pay
I
off.
like the I don't like the C grade for the Celtics. I'd honestly up them up to like a B plus. I like Porzingis.
I like the extension. For
I do
the
too.
Porzingis.
I mean, $30 million for Porzingis, who's a 7'3" defensive shooter. I think that's a great player that's going to fit good with the Celtics. Now, when Robert Williams is up, do you think they're going to extend him? I think he's probably gone in the next couple of years for the Celtics.
I think it depends on how good of a year he has.
Yeah, but I think what are they going to put Porzingis at the 4 and then have Robert at the 5, or?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a solid lineup. I guess you test it, but for $30 million for Porzingis, who is borderline all-star, I think that's a. I think that's
This
a good
is how I
signing.
look at it. So we just talked about DeJounte Murray, 4 years, 120. I know that's a longer contract, but that equals out to be $30 million a year.
Mhm.
And I would take Porzingis for $30 million over in a year over DeJounte, because the centers in this league are hard to come by, and I feel like you
They
can
are.
get a guard a lot easier than a big man.
And that's such
so
a
I mean, like
great point.
you see with the Suns and with the Mavericks, like they're struggling to find a big man right now. So I think to lock him up for another 2 years for $30 million isn't a bad idea.
I also agree with that. And another thing that you just said with the guards being easier to find than centers, Marcus Smart, what was his contract? 13 or 17 million a year, somewhere in that range. So they basically only extended Porzingis for an extra $13 million for a way better offensive player, personally. So I don't know. I think that's a good signing. You have Derek White, who's going to probably step up in that 1 role, which I actually was impressed with Derek White. I don't know. I think the Celtics made some good moves, and also what Grant Williams moved today.
Yep.
Or I think that was also a good move. As
Yeah,
well,
we got 2
for
seconds.
some cap. So
Yeah, y'all calm my nerves a little bit. Maybe I'm being a little too negative on the Celtics, but
yeah, I
that's
give
just,
them about a B plus.
It's
honestly.
different when it's your team.
yeah.
you know.
feel me? Yeah. So the Brooklyn Nets. They signed Cam Johnson 4 years, $108 million. Lonnie Walker a year, 6.5, and Dennis Smith Jr. a year, 2.5. I gave him a B.
And there's not too much to really go off on this. I mean, the Celtics are still. I mean, not Celtics. Sorry, the Nets are still like trying to see what they can do, playoff run maybe. I don't know. $25 million for Cam Johnson for the next 4 years is not bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be pretty solid. There's not too much depth to really go off on that one.
Yeah. The Hornets. There's not really much to talk about on this one, but Miles Bridges did pick up his qualifying offer, so I gave that an A.
And they also just signed a max extension with LaMelo.
Oh, I didn't put that on
Five-
there. Yeah.
5 years for $260 million.
Which is kind of
Ooh,
crazy. to
that's
me.
a lot of money.
It is, and I think he's good. But me and Kyler have been having this age-old debate for a little bit now.
But Tyrese and LaMelo.
Tyrese and LaMelo, and they pretty much got the same amount of money.
Yeah, they did.
So I think our
They're a
debates
similar
will play
player.
down the line. They are a similar player. I just think if you watch Tyrese, I just think he could have made a little bit more money than LaMelo, but we don't got to get on all that.
Yeah, I think an A grade is pretty fair for the Hornets. They did what they should.
Yeah.
Do you think they resign Miles Bridges next year?
They're just going to let it play out, and if he
See how
plays
does
like he did the year before,
Yeah, definitely.
they're going to sign him.
As long as he's not beaten.
I mean,
then
that-
we're gonna talk about that.
I was holding back,
Yeah.
not just.
Yeah, no. The Bulls, they received Vucevic. They extended Vucevic in a 3-year, $60 million deal, and signed Kobe White to a 3-year, 40. And then they signed the hometown kid, Javon Carter, to 3 years and 20. I gave that a C. So that's $60 million combined for Kobe White and Javon Carter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's,
don't know. The Vucevic, I'm not too mad at.
No,
20 million a year for a center, that's not that
Yeah.
bad. Vucevic also can shoot the ball. That's not too bad.
Vucevic don't play a lick of defense, though.
Dude,
Not
Yeah,
very
he should be
well.
playing the four.
Vucevic
Yeah, I
is-
agree. But Kobe White and Javon Carter for 60 mil a year for the next 3 years, that is,
They just keep running back the same
yeah.
team.
I mean, they're
It's like a small addition,
Right.
and they're just getting the same results.
They're
They're,
just-
they're like a mid team that
They're,
maybe
they're
we'll
a play-in team.
Yeah, maybe we'll play in the play-in. Maybe we'll bring DeMar's daughter out and like win a game. But that's about it.
I don't know. One thing I feel bad about the Bulls that if LaMelo Ball, he's out for 2 years in a row, probably will honestly not make a return for the NBA, which is so sad. Lonzo. Sorry, guys.
You good, bro?
I'm bad with saying words. You'll hear that over the next couple weeks. But anyway, Lonzo Ball been out for probably going to be the second year in a row. They have him on a huge contract. It's just like if they had Lonzo, I think they could honestly make somewhat of a run. You got Lonzo, Zach LaVine, DeMar. I like that combo a lot, but it's just the fact that he's not on the court, that they're in that stuck position cap-wise with Lonzo's contract
And that's why.
and a player that's not
And
playing.
DeMar
It's
is not
weird.
getting any younger.
And he's getting older. He regressed a little bit last year.
And that's why they're signing guards to this amount of money. Is like you talked about the Lonzo thing. So it's tough.
It's hard to not give him more than a C, but you can't really give him under a C because they're doing the best they can. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird position.
All right. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Say less. A
I'd say
plus.
this is right
A
in our
plus
alley.
plus.
He's
I
tripping.
gave-
I'm a Cleveland fan, and that's true. That's not
I gave him a B
plus.
plus. Let me run it down real quick.
All right.
Max Strus, 4 years, $64
Dog.
million.
Dog.
Karis LeVert, 2 years, $32 million.
Dog.
George Niang, 3 years, $26 million. And Ty Jerome, 2 years, $4.6 million. I gave it a B plus.
I think that's fair.
I'm a Cleveland fan. We all know that. I love the signing of getting LeVert back for 16. He was probably our best bench player. He did play good in the playoffs too against the Knicks, even though we got swept. Max Strus didn't have the greatest playoff run, but I think he will fit good in that Cavalier system. I like him for his contract. It's not like the craziest amount of money, but it's a decent amount for what he's proven. We need a shooter. He can shoot the ball.
Right.
And then I like this Nyong. How do you say his name? I think it's Nang. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, I like his signing. It's not too much money, and also he played with him, Donovan Mitchell in the Jazz.
Yeah.
Trying to make Mitchell happy. We want him back off after his contract extension. So, I don't know. I think a B plus grade is pretty fair for the Cavaliers.
And don't sleep on Ty Jerome, bro. Ty Jerome
I think he's good.
was one of the most efficient players in the league last year
Mm-hmm.
in the little amount of minutes that he got. And I think he's a good Ricky Rubio replacement.
Yeah, and I think Rubio's because he definitely had a regressed year after
Where's
the
Jerome
injury.
at last year?
He was on Golden State. So,
okay.
I don't know. I like
watch him. He'll be nice.
What I really like about the Cavs is our biggest issue was like depth, and I think a lot of this free agency was that depth that we needed. Now,
Yeah.
one thing I would say, I give us about a B grade. I know you put a B plus, but if we signed Bobo just got released on waivers.
Yeah.
I think if we can get a good backup center to come in for either Mobley or Jared Allen when they need the break, I think I would give them a grade A. But for now, I'm gonna give it about a B.
Don't sleep on the Cavs.
Yeah, don't sleep on the
They
Cavs,
aren't
though.
done making moves
Yeah,
yet.
Yeah.
don't sleep on the
Ryan
Cavs.
Windhorst's been talking. He's
Yeah.
saying.
what's going on in Cleveland?
Still talking.
What's
get-
going on?
We get a good backup center, I'd give us an A grade. But right now, I'm gonna give it about a B.
The only reason I didn't give it an A is because of Max Strus. I think they overpaid a little bit.
A little
I know
bit.
that's your guy name. But he was so inefficient. Like, what do you think he shot in the playoffs?
I think it was like 25% from three.
What do you think he shot?
I'm gonna say 37%.
I think he shot like 25.
31% from
Yeah.
three.
from three.
Wow.
So
Don't-
I just think, but the one thing is he has played in a lot of playoff games, so I can't be too mad
I'm
about it.
just saying, go on 2K, throw Max Strus, Jared Allen, and a pick in there. You might
So,
get a player
so you guys just talked about Strus. So signing him, what do you think the number is for 4 years that you'd be comfortable? You said that you overpaid them.
Yeah,
So
I'm thinking the Grant Williams contract more like 55, 54 range.
okay.
How much are we paying him annually every year?
So that is
Be like 16 a year?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range? I don't know. I mean, I've seen some other contracts that went down this season. It definitely is a little overpay. I'll say a little bit, but not too bad of a salary. I don't know.
That's the only reason I didn't get my A though.
See, I look at him as a 12 to 13 mil a year type of player.
Yeah, he
That's-
definitely got that finals bump.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean that's around 50 million for 4 years in my opinion. So I think they're paying a little over 14 million too much for him.
Yeah.
That's just me though.
I understand, like, we all live in Ohio and Cleveland's your city, but, like, can we just also think about you could go to any other city or fuck it. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to cuss. You know,
No, you
can't
good.
cuss, but just like out of every city, you know, is Cleveland really that great of a destination? I know that like the team is young and it is an upcoming team, but this is a team that was built through the draft and
So they got to
trades.
overpay a little bit.
So
Right.
they have to.
That's a lot of situations with
Same
not
thing with
big market
Charlotte,
areas, yeah.
Detroit. You know, just like any of these cities that are even around us,
Right.
nobody wants to really live here, so they do have to pay a little bit more.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
it makes sense.
I
a good
agree with
point.
that. Actually, that's a great
I
point.
mean,
yeah.
especially if you're coming from Miami to Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Don't be
That's a
hating on
good
Cleveland
point.
that much. It's terrible.
I
That's
know,
a good
but it's
it was
definitely
just-
not no Miami.
What-
Kyler, do you go vacation in Cleveland or you go vacation
Now
in
you're
Miami?
acting like Jakeem Noah.
Or
Yeah, we
even
got
like-
Joakim Noah over
What are
there.
we doing?
Come on.
All right, let's move on to the Dallas Mavericks. They gave that boy Kyrie a 3-year, 126 mil. They acquired Grant Williams. They signed Dwight Powell 3 years, 12, and then they signed my boy Seth Curry for 2 years and $9 million. But
Give him a C?
I gave him a C.
No, I don't agree with that.
I
think
mean, it all
I think
comes down to Kyrie.
I think Kyrie Irving's contract's actually not bad compared to the other All-Stars that got contracts so far this year.
Is it, bro?
It's not that bad. What, 42 mil a year?
Bro, you don't know what he's gonna do next year, though.
You're right.
He could ask out. He could freaking ask Obama out.
Well, this,
I mean,
is,
who
this is
knows
what I'm saying. This is why I'm grading. If I'm giving a realistic grade for the Mavs, I'm going to give them about a B minus to a B. And this is my situation. So the Mavs wanted Kyrie. They went out and traded for him. The biggest
Right.
question when they traded for him is Kyrie going to come back? You don't trade for a player, especially first rounds, if they're not going to come back for
Yeah.
half a year.
No, that's definitely why they did.
So, like, I think getting him back, which was the biggest question in there for the Mavs, is a huge thing. They have a whole offseason to work together. Him and I think Luka and Kyrie will actually work together too, running the ball. It's just more about like their depth and now the center. Hopefully that rookie can come in and play well. So I give them about a B minus B grade.
I kind of like the rest of these.
And what they got? Seth Curry, shooter. I like him.
Yeah,
Back
that's a
in
great.
Dallas.
That's a great
Dwight
pick.
Powell, a big that they need bigs, and then Grant Williams, who's just going to even give them more defense.
Grant
that
Williams.
they
Shooting.
Yeah.
shooting.
I'm not really high on Grant Williams, but I just think he's a
Yeah,
big-
but
But watch, bro. Like
with
in
where
the,
they're at,
I think
he's a playoff player.
He is. He
Like
is.
he can play the 3 or the 4.
Just not free throw shooter. That's it.
Yeah, he's just not free throw shooter. You got me
and
there.
the clutch.
No, all right, let's move on to the Nuggets. So the Nuggets, they didn't really do much, but they brought back 2 guys. Reggie Jackson, 2 years, $10 million, and DeAndre Jordan, a year and $3 million. So I gave him an A because,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, they brought back that boy Reggie Jackson, even though he barely played. That's crazy. But
Yeah.
They lost a bit, but they're
they lost Bruce
defending
Brown,
champs.
but you have the same team coming back. You really didn't overpay or do any big changes. I mean, you can't
and you
really
bring
give him-
that guard play back with
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson.
And Reggie, I like Reggie. I still like him.
As
so.
long as you have your core intact,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, with their coaching and just like who they have on their roster, they
Right.
will be.
Yeah,
fine.
you can't give them really any bad grade or even grade them very much. It's the same team, basically.
Yep. Yeah, the Pistons basically did nothing except
Joe Harris.
Joe Harris.
Poverty.
Poverty.
Just went off the
franchise.
contract.
Just
Went off
like the rest
contract.
of their sports, poverty.
Hey, don't sleep on the Pistons the next couple of years. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'll sleep. I'll sleep real good at night.
I hope this podcast is still going in 3 years because the Pistons going to be nice.
They will
I'll
be,
s-
but Kate Cunningham's my guy, bro.
Cade Cunningham, you got Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duran. You got. a good-
I'll take my
you got a good core.
Ezekiel and I'll sleep real nice knowing the Pistons will be.
All right, real quick. Let's go. So, would you rather have the Rockets roster or the Pistons roster?
Rockets.
The Rockets. Without a
all
doubt.
day.
I was going to go Rockets last week until recently. I'm going back to the Pistons now.
No,
Well,
I'm sorry.
What are you seeing at the Pistons that the Rockets? The Rockets have a solidified head coach. They have a good young core.
Yeah, and they also have Dylan Brooks for 4 years, $80 million. They also have
Oh,
Fred
we'll
VanVleet,
get into
not
that.
worth
We'll
the
get
biggest
into-
contract.
we'll get
max
into it.
contract.
We'll get into that.
They messed up
But-
a little bit, but we can get into that.
But yeah, they're 2 away. So let's touch on this real quick. Golden State, they signed Dre, 4 years, $100 million. I gave him a B plus.
Their golden days are gone.
Nate, you texted in the chat saying that they overpaid a little bit. Do you still feel that way?
No, I was upset at first because it was more like a, you know, your first reaction.
Upset. Wait. Upset as in like you're a fan of
Fan?
it?
Yeah.
No. Well, a little bit.
I
guess-
upset as a hater of Draymond because you're mad he got paid.
No,
or-
not that. It's just like I don't really have a team, but like our entire, essentially since we were like in 7th grade, the Warriors literally ran the entire league, and you got to condemn that, like tip your hat because like that was very
I
impressive.
don't gotta
the
do
range
shit.
that- I know.
I don't like.
It's
not
hard
one
when
bit.
you're a Cleveland fan, I know. But that's kind of just like I do have a little bias towards them. But like looking, actually, like as I thought about it, I mean, they are really just running everything back with the core that they have. And I mean, this kind of just solidifies that, like, that's exactly what they're doing. So whether it works or not, we shall see. But that's.
I'm going to get into my little thought. I'm going to make it real brief because I could go on forever. I like Draymond as a person. I don't like him as much as a player. If that makes sense. Okay, I like his IQ, I like his defense, but that team's tallest player is like 6'7", 6'8". They have no center. And $25 million for a regressed Draymond Green for the next $25 million for the next 4 years. I don't like that contract. I don't know.
You know who they should look to get? They should look to get that James Wiseman.
Yeah, that would have been a very good piece to
That'd be
keep.
a good piece for him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like the grade B+. I'll give him more like a C+ from Golden State.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right, I'm going to get a hot take on this one. I'm
Now
ready.
you
Houston
run your
Rockets.
bag.
Let me run it down real quick. So they gave Fred VanVleet 3 years, $128.5 million.
Max contract, by the way.
Yep. Dylan Brooks, 4 years, $80 million. Jock Landale, that's who we were talking about from Phoenix the other day. 4 years, $32 million, and Jeff Green, a year and $6 million. I gave him an A-.
That is crazy.
That's because they cook.
Can I talk? Can I?
You
Yeah.
talk. I'm going to go
Yeah.
after. I'll be like the last one talking this.
So basically, yeah, did they pay a lot of money for Brooks and Fred? Yeah. Are they gonna suck the next 4 years? Yeah.
More than likely, yeah.
So you're bringing in culture. People would argue Dylan Brooks don't bring culture, but I think the
he
one
brings
thing he
culture.
does bring is toughness, and that's what these dudes need. I mean, to me, it's like they need somebody to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna die for this loose ball. I'm gonna do this." And then Fred VanVleet, bro, you've already seen the videos, him and Jalen Green working out, putting in that work, stuff like that. And then they bring in guys like Jock Landale, who's a good signing, but then Jeff Green. Jeff Green's another vet that they bring in. So, yes, did they pay a lot of money? But to me, by the time that these contracts expire, they'll be
able to
ready to
sign
win.
for the rookies and stuff that they got now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my thoughts real quick. I think the A-. I'm not hating on it, but I definitely disagree on the A- grade. I give him like a C+,
Okay.
if that. And this is my take. Okay, so Fred VanVleet, he had a regressed year last year on the Raptors, and they just signed him for a 3-year max contract. I don't even think they were really even bidding with other people for that contract because that's crazy for VanVleet for 3 years. I don't like that signing at all. I think getting him was a good player. He could definitely be a culture setter, like you said, but at the same time, that is a crazy amount of. Well, actually, I can't argue a little bit. I did see something that the league made it you have to spend 90% of your cap money.
Yep.
So at that same time, I understand it a little bit. But if I'm the Rockets, I'm paying them maybe a 1-year max, like a big contract for a year or two. And then next year going into a better free agency, that's where you spend most of your money. I don't like that VanVleet locked for 3 years max contract. And Dylan Brooks, oh my gosh, I don't like Dylan Brooks. I'm sorry. We don't like him.
Way to get that bag, brother. That's
Yeah,
all
way
I
to
can
get that
say.
bag,
That's
but-
all I can say.
Yeah.
They were saying you're going to play in Taiwan about 2 months ago. So.
I think even the same thing with Dylan
I'm
Brooks.
happy
I don't
for
think other teams were offering 4 years for $80 million for Dylan Brooks. A lot of people shunned him after like what he did in the league last year, all that controversy. But 20 mils, I mean, get your bag, Dylan Brooks. I don't like you personally that much, but what am I to say? I'm not in the league. But I can judge. I don't like your contract, so I don't like that either. But the other 2 signings that the Rockets did do, I'm okay with. I like that as veterans, so I'm gonna give him about a C+ on that.
Tyler.
We can debate it.
Like you said, I mean, they have to spend that money. So, VanVleet and Brooks, anyone is going to look at that and say, yeah, that's not the greatest contract. But, as you said, you're building that foundation. And back to the Pistons thing, bro. You have, look how deep this team is. I mean, you have VanVleet, Brooks, Landale, and Green. That's just people they signed. Then you got Jalen Green, you got Jabari
I
Smith.
understand the rookie.
You have
Sengun.
Sengun.
He's gonna be all right.
I'm very high on Sengun.
I like
Kevin Porter.
So you have literally probably around, Kevin Porter. You got like 8 rotation players. I think if this team can gel well together, I think it's a playing team.
But you can say the same thing about the Pistons besides the veterans. I mean,
Yeah.
you have Cade Cunningham, who's already almost an all-star rookie year.
Mhm.
You have Jaden Ivey, who's a really underrated guard. You have Jalen Duran, which people say he's one of the strongest rookies that were out of his class. He's going to have a big upside.
He had a good rookie.
I mean, they don't have the greatest depth like that, but at the same time, I think they're
But,
moving a little
yeah.
smarter.
But they don't have leadership, though.
Who has the best player, though? Cade Cunningham's the best player out of on any of these teams,
Mhm.
and he's a leader.
People
can
forget
say
about
that.
him too.
Cade is a leader, bro. Cade is going to watch down the line. Cade, I'm a big Cade Cunningham guy. In 2K last year, I had a Cade Cunningham shirt on my player. That's my guy. So I just think he's going to shape the culture once they get a good coach in there. I forget who they got, but say Udoka went there, I'd be a lot satisfied like you are with the Rockets. But I think they will both be good. But give me the Pistons.
I'm gonna go with Pistons now, but one thing I just really touching back on the Rockets is like you just took a point guard third overall, and now you just signed another point guard on a max contract for 3 years. I'm just
That
really
was the- yeah,
curious,
that
like
was the
how
one.
like. I mean, we're just gonna see the coach is gonna be good for the Rockets now. We're just gonna see how it's gonna play out. I just feel like you have a really good young core, and you're gonna take time away for Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet. That's just my thoughts. It's gonna be weird because where does Amin Thompson start? He's probably not gonna be a starter now if you have Fred coming now. So you're not paying a max contract for a
To
6
come
man.
off the bench.
I'm just
yeah.
saying you're not. So it's just like we'll see. I'm gonna give it a CC.
That was the one thing I will say before we move on is it could possibly. The one thing with the Rockets is like a few of those signings could definitely help. Not just regress the development of the younger players that they already have in place.
I think like if there was a team option for the third year, I would have liked it a little bit more. It's just the fact that it's a 3 year
I think-
straight up, and now you got to probably trade him around the third year. if
I
he's
could
not
be
fit.
wrong, but I think the Dylan Brooks contract might be a 3+1, like the last year's a team
I can respect
option.
a little bit more if it's like that. I just don't like the inconsistency that Dylan Brooks on offense. Defense is there, but there's a lot of trash talk. He don't really put his mouth to it as well. So I don't know. Like I said, it's more of a
Shall
culture
see.
signing trade, but not for those huge contract amounts.
Yep, we will see. All right, the Indiana Pacers. They signed Bruce Brown 2 years, 45 mil. And before you gasp, the second year is the team option. Then they extended Tyrese, my boy, 5 years, 260 mil. So I gave him a B.
I don't hate any of those moves. I mean, we knew someone was going to pay it back for Bruce Brown.
The team option I love.
Right.
But I do
I
like that
love
team
the team
option.
option.
Like if Bruce Brown doesn't play to what he was in the playoffs, then she's like, all right, well, you can find another team pay you still, but not going to pay you
Mhm.
20 some mil a year.
Right.
And you get, like we just talked about, LaMelo, Halliburton, kind of similar, very similar players, same exact contract. I like that. So I think a B's fair for that.
The Clippers. I gave an A+. They signed 2 years, 8 mil to Russell Westbrook, and then they acquired Kenyon Martin Jr. in a trade. And the reason I gave him an A+ is I really like the Westbrook contract,
Mm-hmm.
and then Kenyon Martin can bring in more defense and more wing depth. Like they didn't have enough, but you can never have too much of that.
I like it the A+ grade because they brought back the same players, going to run it back. But the one thing that's in the air, don't have to go into a huge debate about it, but what happens with the James Harden? I've heard reports that he wants to go to the Clippers, and I've heard the same things back. They
I don't
want him.
know. I don't know how they'd be able to do that. The Clippers are
Like you're giving up Paul George. I'm not giving up
such a-
Paul George for James Harden.
Well, and then there's reports that basically the Sixers, there's something going on where they don't want to give up Maxey.
I wouldn't either.
And so that the talks are, it's like Covington, Batum, but they don't want to give up Terrence Mann. So
kidding?
there's a bunch of rumors with that, but we'll see how that
Terrence
plays
Mann's a
out.
dog.
Yeah, he kind of is.
I don't know.
But that Westbrook contract, like,
He played well
might be
on
the
the
biggest
Clippers. When-
deal in free
a lot of
agency
people
this
hated
year.
on Westbrook. I felt so bad for the man. He definitely regressed, and I'm not arguing that at all. But he fit pretty well in the Clippers. He actually had some really good games when he was
bro,
there.
he was
And for
dogging
4
on
million
other
years a year?
teams when there is no Paul George and no Kawhi. He literally made
He can run the offense in a good scheme.
he made them at least competitive
Like when
by himself.
When the Lakers had him, this is one thing I really just did not like about the Lakers when they did have him. They had him as like a spot up shooter in the corner. That's not Russell Westbrook's game. He needs to run the ball, and that's why like LeBron and Russell running the ball, it just did not make sense from the get go. But when he came to the Clippers and actually could run the ball, he actually played well. Was diamond assists, averaging about 15 a game, like 6 or 7 assists. I don't know. 4 years, $4 million a year for Westbrook's a good signing.
Mhm.
If the Clippers can stay healthy, that's what it comes
That's
down
the-
to.
that's
It's
the
like
biggest if,
like
though.
every year the Clippers are a what if. So if they stay healthy, I mean,
They're dogs if they stay healthy though.
Yep.
And
I'm
I
not
feel
gonna-
like we've kind of been saying like this has to be their year for like the past 3 years. So
Yeah.
we'll
It low
just
key
kinda-
does though.
we'll
Like
kinda
I
see
think
what
like this
happens.
year is going to be huge for the Clippers.
Yeah, or
because
else you'll see that Sunday sport.
something big is going to happen if they don't.
Yep. All right. to the other team in LA.
Winner, winner, winner. Chicken dinner.
Let me run this through, but let me take a deep breath because it's a lot.
This is where we need deal.
Austin Reeves, 4 years, $56 million. Rui, 3 years, $51 million. D'Angelo, 2 years, $37 million. Gabe Vincent, 3 years, $33 million. Cam Reddish, 2 years, $4.5 million. Jackson Hayes, 2 years, $4.5 million. And Torian Prince, a year and $4.5 million. I gave them, sadly, my rivals an A.
I'm gonna give them an A+. Lakers freaking killed this free agency. They not only did they retain, we all talked about it, Austin Reeves. We were talking about him going $25 million a year for the Spurs.
Yeah.
They got him at a very good contract, 4 for $56. He's gonna be your point guard. And then you got Rui back. How much did they sign him for? Right around the same thing, 3 for $51. A little bit more expensive, but still, wing depth. Keep Rui. They both played very good together in the playoffs. I think that was 2 huge pieces to bring back. And that was the biggest concern. So you got your players back. But not only did they do that, they got D'Lo. I think he could possibly be a trade move if he doesn't play well.
Hold on, real quick. Bill Simmons have brought this up. If you plug in this contract, so D'Lo's contract with Rui's contract, that trade works for Kyrie Irving.
Really?
If you put in the trade machine, that works for Kyrie Irving now.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
out there.
All right, well, I guess we'll see what happens there because
So,
that's very
It
interesting.
kind of makes sense why they would sign him as trade bait, like you talked about.
Yeah, so I don't
Keep going, go
know.
ahead.
Hopefully D'Lo plays well. We'll hopefully see a good comeback from him. He didn't play very great, but I don't hate that contract. 2 for $37 for D'Lo. It's not terrible. But these next couple of signings that the Lakers did, I thought were really sleeper, like really good freaking signings. Not only did you get Gabe Vincent for 3 for $33, you got
Another
Cam
dog.
Reddish 2 for $4.5, which that is a dog signing.
Mhm.
And not only him, you got Jackson Hayes, which is one of not like the greatest center, but he's an athletic center. He really is.
Coming off the bench.
Yeah,
you know.
and another for 2 for $4.5. So those signings right there, and Torres Prince, I forgot about him. He played good with the Wolves, and they got him for cheap too.
Yeah.
I love all the players the Lakers got. They got that depth now, rotation pieces coming in and out. I think the Lakers probably won the draft free agency so far, and I think they're going to make a run again this year. That's just my opinion. But
I think the most
I'll give 'em-
interesting thing for I'll just be interested to see who does better between the Lakers and the Heat because they did 2 very different things. Whereas the Lakers immediately went out I don't know. We saw a playoff run from 2 teams that weren't really supposed the Lakers and the Heat weren't really supposed to be
Yeah.
Right.
in the conference finals.
Mhm.
The Lakers
And-
weren't even supposed to make it to the
And
playoffs.
the Lakers, they you could look at all those players from the Heat and the Lakers that like Gabe Vincent. No one's talking about Gabe Vincent now. Everybody's talking about Gabe Vincent. So I'm interested to see the Lakers took a strategy. Hey, we saw these players play really good this year. Let's sign them. Let's get them under contract. Let's play them next year. Whereas the Heat kind of took a step back, and they're like, we don't know if that was legit. We don't know if these players are going to play like that a full season.
They want another
or-
star.
Right.
So
They
I
want- they
don't
want
know.
the-
I'll be interested to see who does better between the two because they took completely opposite routes on all these players that kind of popped off in the playoffs
Right.
and signing them.
I don't
That's
know.
the LeBron effect.
I don't want to go into
Yeah.
too much depth a little bit, but Cam Reddish for 2.45. I think he's a great low-key good signing. When the Trailblazers gave him time when the Trailblazers weren't going to make the playoffs, when they gave Cam Reddish time on the court, he was dropping 20 points a game. I
And
think
he's
he's
still
going to
very
for
young.
4.5, $2 million a year. He's going to be great. Gabe Vincent played very well in the playoffs. Lakers need shooters, and he shot pretty well in the playoffs as well, 3-pointer. And like you said, you got your players back. You added depth. I don't know. I think the Lakers really do have a squad now coming into next year.
Retain D'Lo, which
Like
everybody has
Dom
a
said, it could be
love-hate
trade bait. It
relationship.
could be trade bait for D'Lo.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it was good.
Not a bad contract.
The Grizzlies, I gave them an A. They brought in Derrick Rose for 2 years, 6.5.
Oh, I actually love this signing, and not only, and you're gonna call me crazy, and I actually seen something about this. You got Derrick Rose, not gonna be your starter, obviously. He's gonna be on your bench, but Derrick Rose is gonna mentor Ja Morant.
Yeah, that's
Do you
what you
know
need him for.
what that's gonna do?
Yeah.
Guns
That
and
boy's-
Roses.
Bro, we got
What?
2 D Roses.
I ain't
I'm
never
just
heard
saying, you're about to see Ja Morant. They're really catching some bodies coming back from the suspension. I'm just saying that right now.
I don't know
He's a
with
good mentor.
Ja's suspension.
That's like the
D-Rose
best
might
mentor
get a
he
lot of
could've got.
playing time too. So.
Yeah.
I don't think Derrick Rose is even a terrible player. He's obviously not
He's
even
just-
close to what he was, but Derrick Rose is still going to be a good piece to fit. And not only that, he's going to mentor Ja Morant, which has young Derrick Rose ability.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love that signing.
You're saying that I just don't see Derrick Rose really even playing.
He probably won't play very
No.
much. He's
So
going to be
I
kind of
think
like
you're
a
paying 6.5 over 2 years for mentorship, basically.
It's only what
which isn't bad.
3
but-
years.
And the
It's like
NBA.
it's like a veteran minimum basically.
That's
2 years of veteran minimum.
Yeah.
and you get a mentor out of it. Which, I mean, you could say that, but also with the Heat kept like a 42-year-old dude on their team for like 5 years.
Mhm.
So, I don't know.
Wait, so who's the Grizzlies starting one if they don't have Tyus?
Tyus Jones.
Yeah, and John's gonna
I
be
thought
suspended.
Tyus Jones on the Wizard.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart probably be the one to.
Oh yeah,
come back.
Marcus Smart.
The,
I
Heat,
forgot
the
they got him.
Grizzlies
Yeah,
are not
that's
going to be
smart.
very good for the first 25 games of the year. I don't think.
I think they'll be fine.
I think they'll be okay. They're not going to be great.
Right.
They'll probably have like a 50
I guess-
record.
Smart probably playing the one. Yeah.
I don't think they'll be in a hole.
Yeah. I don't think
They have
so.
good pieces, definitely.
Yeah, they'll float for
But
sure.
when they get John Moran, I think they'll excel a lot.
They got a good coach. They got a good rotation. They
Mhm.
got good bench players.
They'll
so
be back.
They'll be fine.
And they got rid of Dylan Brooks, biggest key. So they're going to be even better.
All right, the Miami Heat. I gave them an A+. So they signed Kevin Love 2 years, 7.5. Josh Richardson 2 years, $5 million. Thomas Bryant 2 years, $5 million, and Orlando Robinson a year and $1 million. So the reason I gave him an A+ is I just think this Heat culture. I mean, it's a thing, man. And the K Love, I'm gonna kind of just ignore that. But Josh Richardson and Thomas Bryant,
I like those.
I think they
signings.
are gonna come in and like Thomas Bryant's gonna. They need a backup center really bad, and Josh Richardson, he's gonna give you a lot of those Gabe Vincent, Max Strus minutes back, and he's gonna perform.
Didn't he play
back
with
in
the Heat?
Miami.
Didn't he play
Yeah.
back at the Heat? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that signing a lot, especially for his contract. Thomas Bryant and those Richardson, those signings are good. I don't want to touch too much on Orlando because I don't know too much about him. But Kevin Love, I don't like that. Kevin Love is just.
I like it actually.
He's a good mentor. You get rid of Hassan.
I mean, he was giving you great minutes in the
But he's
playoffs,
just-
And he's a regular season
He's
player
just-
too.
and that's
he's
almost
slow.
a vet minimum, or is that a vet?
And he provided
Slow.
3-point shooting for a team that
That's all he can
struggled
do.
with the
Hold
three-pointer
on, let me
all
ask you
season.
this though: you wouldn't have appreciated Kevin Love on the Cavs last year in the
I
playoffs?
would have.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
When they
that.
got
Exactly.
swept by the Knicks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But all right, Milwaukee. So I said on our first episode, my boldest prediction was Milwaukee would win the championship.
Has
Take it
that
back.
changed?
Has it changed? No, not this year. But their future's not looking bright. C+. Chris Middleton, 3 years, $102 million. Brooke Lopez, 2 years, $48 million. So C+ for me.
They got
Yeah.
Robin Lopez too.
They got Robin
They
Lopez.
got his brother, yeah.
I did
They
not
just
see
got
that.
another
He
No,
won't
brother.
that's,
play,
that's fun.
It's for the culture.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. C+ is fair, but they're both older players. I like Brooke Lopez a little bit more than the Middleton.
I was
signing.
gonna say I like the Lopez contract.
I don't know. They have that chemistry together. The Bucks play together when they're playing the same people.
Right.
We'll see. I think C+ is fair. There's not it's not terrible, but
Yeah.
there might be some moves made if they're not winning the next.
Yeah,
one
I
or
just
two.
would like to see him I mean, it's hard when you're in Milwaukee, but push for a Torian Prince or Thomas Bryant. There are a couple more minimum guys, but it's hard when you live in Milwaukee. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate the trade. Same players, run it back, see if they can do something different. We'll see.
All right, the Timberwolves. They extended Anthony Edwards 4 years, 260. They got Shake Milton 2 years, $10 million. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, that's Shay's little brother or cousin. I mean, 2 years, $9 million. And Troy Brown Jr. 2 years, $8 million. I gave him a B. Not much to really talk about there, but they did give Anthony Edwards the bag as expected.
As they should.
They paid Nas Reed.
As they should.
Oh, I did forget about Nas
They
Reed,
paid
too.
Nas Reed, didn't
Which-
Because he was playing amazing before he got injured.
But listen to this, bro. They're paying, I don't know the number, but they're paying Rudy, Cat, and Nas.
Yeah.
Nas.
Yeah, I
It's
saw
something
that.
ridiculous.
Something's got to
It's-
go, bro.
yeah,
That's a
you're
lot
not
of money
wrong.
for
It's
3
ridiculous.
centers,
You're not
bro.
wrong.
How much
Wait.
did they sign Nas for?
It was,
It was a
like,
decent amount.
It was like 3 years
7.
It wasn't a bad
What?
contract, but
or
it's
like 50. Yeah.
it's not a bad contract, but
What?
you're right. They got too many centers.
No, I think Cat's gone, man.
Yeah.
Cat's got to be gone soon.
Well, I mean, he said they're going to remember how he changed the game.
Right.
Yeah, bro.
no,
It was
Weekend.
3/41 for Nas Reed.
that's not
All
that
right,
bad.
that's a
But
good
nah,
contract.
they, like you guys said, there's too many bigs there. Someone got to go.
Yeah.
I think Cat's gonna be seeing his way out. You have Gobert locked for a couple years. I think as much people hate Gobert, he's a paint defender, like a pure paint defender. There's not like a ton of centers that are like pure paint defenders. I think him and Ant are gonna be.
And
good.
that's something that because I was actually listening to a podcast. It was with Draymond Green and it might have been JJ Redick. Regardless, though,
people get paid
Um,
for defense like that.
get paid for if you can defend the paint, you will get a bag.
Right.
And that's why Wembanyama is like one of the elite traits that he has is defending the paint.
Already.
So he's going to be in the league for a while.
Yeah.
I know that's off topic, but
I
like,
know,
if
no,
you can
that's a
defend
good
the
argument.
paint, like
Yeah.
you're going to
That's
get
a
paid.
huge thing, and people
No.
like I do agree. Rudy's contract's a little absurd, 40 mil. It definitely could have been a little bit less, but at the same time, he's still a pure paint defender. I think Cat's the one. If anyone wants to talk about, needs to be the one that needs to go. He's regressed. He wasn't shooting very good towards the end of the last year, especially in the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
time to
can
move
see
on.
just Cat being gone. They start building around Gobert and.
Don't
and-
worry, Nate. We're about to talk about the paint here in a couple teams.
All right, bet. All right, the Pelicans. So I had to bring this one up. We didn't have to talk about it, but Herb Jones is my guy.
I like Herb Jones a lot.
4 years, 56 mil.
Great
And they
contract.
Signed Cody Zeller. So I gave him an A- because Herb Jones is pretty good.
I think the biggest thing that comes down to the Pelicans, what is Zion doing this year?
Yeah.
The Pelicans could actually make a sleeper squad if you think about it.
If
You
they
got-
could
If they could
stay
get
healthy.
Zion out the
Played.
DMs.
Yeah, well, you got CJ, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion. Then you got Valanciunas. Dude, that's a squad.
Oh, their team's deep.
That's a squad. Yeah.
The Knicks, they signed DiVincenzo, 4 years, 50. They gave him a B+.
I like that signing.
They got a Villanova chemistry going.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
So we'll
And
see
not
how
only
goes.
that, DiVincenzo. I can't say his name. I'm not gonna say it.
DiVincenzo.
I'm not gonna say it. We just know who we're talking about. He's a good player. He played very good for this Golden State Warriors. Now he has a chance to what? You think he'll be the starter for him, or you think he'll be sixth man?
I think it's hard to play for.
It's gonna be either him or Hart.
I think
going
it's
in and out.
hard to play for Coach Tibbs, but if he
Yeah.
earns his respect, we'll see.
It is.
Probably
I
come
think
off
the
the
contract's
bench.
not that bad either. I like what he's done.
Do we want to talk about the trade that just happened?
Which is
It's not big, but Grizzlies sending 3 second-round picks to the Suns for 2 first-round pick swaps, 2024 and 2030, and Isaiah Todd. Not a big trade.
a live trade for the podcast.
Just like a little trade.
First Seth bomb.
Seth
bomb.
No, yeah,
That trade's not too much.
That's not
That's 35 minutes
So
ago.
they trade. They trade.
So they traded 2 future 2s for like more recent.
They traded
One.
3. They traded
Perfect.
3 second-round. Like the Grizzlies are sending 3 second-round picks.
Uh-huh.
They're getting 2 first-round pick swaps, and they're getting Isaiah Todd.
yeah, shoot it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a crazy trade.
Not a
to be
crazy
honest.
trade. Couple
But
picks.
it was our first
That's
breaking.
a lot.
It's a live trade, though.
Breaking news trade, though. You're right.
All right, Oklahoma City. We don't have to talk about it, but they got Patty Mills.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing there.
Okay.
No
Whatever.
grade.
I mean,
No grade.
Leadership,
we got
am I
we got
right?
that rookie down there.
No, okay.
I'm just saying. I just want to touch on it for like a second.
All right.
We're like 2 summer league games in, and we were talking about the paint earlier.
Yeah.
Chet's down there two-handed. He's
gonna talk about
he's
the summer league
packing
after
everything. And I'm just saying, a couple weeks ago, nobody's talking about Chet. Nobody's saying nothing about Chet. You turn on ESPN now. Me and Dom were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
They love talking about Chet now.
It's
I'm not
that
going-
I'm just saying, Chet's my boy, and he's going to surprise a lot of people this year.
Not only
That's all
that,
I'm
I think
saying.
the OKC in general is going to surprise a lot of people this year. They have a deep squad, and they have already an all-star in Shy. I think they're going to take a lead. I could see them making a playoff run, honestly. I really could, with Shet coming in there, too. We're there. I'm glad you brought him up, but he's there. They're back. OKC on the map.
All right. Well, the Magic didn't really do much, but they did overpay for my boy Joe Ingles, 2 years, 22. That's wild to bring in a vet like that.
10
And then James' cousin Mo Wagner, or Wagner, whatever you want to say.
I give
2
that
years,
rookie like
16 mil, and a C+.
I give that like
Hey,
a
Magic
B
or-
plus C, B
Yeah.
plus or C. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
Magic or the Magic. You know.
Hey, the Magic run.
They'll
they're-
win some games. Probably lose a lot. But
Yeah,
they'll win some
but-
games.
What teams we got?
We'll speed through these next couple.
Yeah.
Sixers, they got Pat Bev, B.
Yeah.
Suns, Eric Gordon, 2 years, 6 million. Damian Lee, 2 years, 5 million. Drew Eubanks, 2 years, 5 million. Keita Bates Diop, 2 years, 5 million. Metu, a year, 2.5. Josh Okogie, a year and 2. Yuta Watanabe, a year and 2.
We can stop on this one just for half a second.
Yeah.
You give them an A minus grade. I actually agree with that. With the money that the Suns had to work with, they actually got some decent,
Yeah.
some decent depth for the money they could work with. I like that.
And real quick, how you feel about them now, James? A little better or no?
I mean, I think I like the Aaron Gordon and the Damian Lee, but I mean, it's kind of remarkable that these guys are signing 2-year contracts for basically like that minimum contracts with the Suns. So I mean, it is a good grade for them, but I mean, you got a bunch of mailmen coming off the bench.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out, but
I watched Eric Gordon in the playoffs, and Buddy could have hit a 3 to save his life.
he did have
so-
a bad playoff. But
So I mean, if that's going to be your
I don't know. He's a veteran. I think he'll fit well. going into the Suns. For like you said, like they had like after those trades and everything went down, they had like not even $10 million to work with, like in their. Like,
It's what
cap
you
room.
expected, though. I mean,
Right,
like, what
yeah.
else could they really have done?
And for the pieces they did get for that money,
They
it's
did
not
get
bad.
a lot of depth for
Yeah.
They
what
could've
they
been
had.
Like, I like
G
Okogie
League
a lot.
players on
I like
the-
Okogie, a defensive wing too. They'll probably be a starter along with them.
All right, Trailblazers, they signed Jeremy Grant to 5 years, 160. This was my first and only F.
Yeah.
And Dame
And,
was
and honestly, you can't even be like it's not even all the Trailblazers' fault. They're trying to
No.
make Dame happy
No.
after they make the contract and get everything signed. Yeah, I went out like next day, Dame. So it kind of screwed the Trailblazers over. Not only like with that contract, and Jeremy Grant's not worth 160 mil. I don't care.
Yeah.
But now Dame wants going, so you're in a rebuild, and now you have this huge contract with the guy who's probably that's going to be a bad contract the next 2-3 years.
And let me throw this one analogy out here real quick. I texted in the group chat. It's kind of like if you're dating this girl and she don't want to be with you. So you're like, shoot, let me buy her this brand new car. Well, it's a Prius. And now she's like,
I
no.
wanted a Tesla.
Yeah, I don't want to be with you. So now you're stuck with a Prius that you really overpaid for. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, that's a great example. That's a damn near enough. Yeah.
The Kings, they extended Sabonis 5 years, 217. Trey Lyles 2 years, 16, and Alex Lynn a year, $3 million. I don't know why I gave him a C plus, but
Well,
to me,
don't
this is more
forget,
of a
don't
B.
forget, they signed. I don't know his name, but he's a EuroLeague MVP,
Yep, I did see
and
that.
he's
Oh yeah.
he's a big man, and he's been cooking over there in the Europe leagues. Now, will it translate to the NBA? I don't know, because like you have people like Luka who said scoring over there was hard.
Right.
I came here, I'm scoring 30 a night,
Right.
not sweating. So I mean, it could end up being nothing, but don't overlook that signing because
no, you're right.
you never know with players like that that are overseas.
And
We're
I
not
think
seeing
as
it.
an NBA organization, you should tap into that a little bit more. Like
Absolutely.
we're seeing it more like now,
Absolutely.
but like that's something that definitely should be tapped into because if you're like able to reign as an MVP overseas,
You
I
could
mean-
come over here and give me 15 a night, and that's all
or
I need.
even
from
just
you.
be a decent role player,
Yeah.
you know.
And
I
you
agree.
go to get a
That's
way
a
bigger
great.
bag.
Yeah, that was a great topic to bring up, Seth. No, I like
That's
that.
a good point, Seth.
Yeah, so actually, I would just that signing alone. I'm not gonna give him like a huge upgrade, but I'd definitely go up.
And then
like,
just
a
staying on the
B-.
Kings, since we were talking about summer league earlier, has anyone seen Keegan Murray just giving everybody the business?
Yeah, that boy should not be playing.
The boys dropping like 30 a game. Bron
I
Starks.
actually love the Sabonis signing. I think
Yeah, me too.
Sabonis is what embodies your whole culture at the Kings.
And he was hurt
having
last
him,
year.
yeah. I mean, he was a dog. He was all what?
That's your best player.
You're
Was
getting
he all NBA?
Yeah.
13 maybe.
He was.
You're
He
getting
was
like
an all-star.
13, 14 rebounds a game.
Yeah, I mean, you're
He's
getting
good.
this guy for 5 years, and you're going to have him build that relationship that he has with De'Aaron Fox and Keegan Murray.
The
And
Kings have a team.
so
I'm not
they,
gonna lie.
yeah, I really like the Sabonis. I think that's a max, right?
Didn't they sign Harrison Barnes too?
I think he deserves it.
Oh yeah, I
They
forgot
did
about
sign
Harrison Barnes.
So they got some of the same players back, like and also like the MVP of the EuroLeague. We'll see. How
Hey,
they
they
do.
gave the Warriors a series. They did.
They did.
Yep.
I give them about a B minus so far for that grade.
All right, couple more teams for y'all. So we're on our last little leg here,
These ones
but
aren't super long either.
yeah, the Spurs, Trey Jones, 2 years, 20, and Julian Champagne, 4 years, 12. I gave him a B plus because I really like Trey Jones. And
Yeah, I love Trish.
The only thing that I wish the Spurs would have done, just because like I like chaos, is because like I don't know, it's smart not to go out there and like try and make someone overpay for. Like the Lakers came out and said, and they were basically like, hey, if you offer Austin Reeves something, we're gonna
we're gonna
match it.
And they should.
They could have screwed the Lakers over and been
I
like,
agree.
hey, we're giving him.
I said that from
Oh,
episode 1, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I would have liked to see the Spurs be a bigger player in free agency.
Yeah.
I understand why they weren't,
Right.
but like I would have liked them just like to see at least throw an offer out.
Mm-hmm.
I
That
like
would've been crazy.
what the Spurs did a lot by not signing a lot of players.
Yeah.
And this is my example. You have Wembanyama. You know what you're getting, but you also don't know how much it's going to be in the first year. I'd say you let your team play it out. Probably won't be the best team. They'll probably go under 500. But now you can see exactly what key pieces you want to build on into the future. And the next free agency class is definitely better than this year. So I like what they did, keeping their money in cap space for next year.
All right, Raptors, Jacopo, 4 years, 80. Dennis Schroeder got the bag for some reason, 2 years, 25. And Jalen McDaniels, 2 years, $9 million. I gave him a C plus.
I give him a D.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could see
I was a
it.
little generous.
It's
Yeah.
all just like,
They're in a rebuild now.
meh.
Nobi got to go. They got
I
some-
mean, Jalen McDaniels is a cool young player, But
He is. I like
If
the
you like bricks and
and the
his
contract
ankles,
they
bro.
gave for that center is not bad.
Bricks
for
and
80.
defense.
I don't know. It's all right, but they're in a weird position. Not going to be a great team this year. Probably subpar.
Yeah.
50.
The only thing the Jazz did was Clarkson got 3 years, 55 mil, so I gave that an A. Why not? Washington Wizards, Kyle Kuzma got 4 years, 102 million. I gave it a B plus, could be an A minus, but
I like what the
why
Wizards.
not bring him back?
As
for that
much
deal?
as like the Wizards were in a weird spot coming out of this year for starting their rebuild, they actually started it pretty soon. I like their pieces, like I really do. But you got Titus Jones, you got Jordan Poole, Kuzma. Those are already 3 people they start rebuilding around. And
I really think they can like easily be a play-in team.
I
think they'll be a fun
in the
team.
East.
I think they'll be a
like,
yeah. I don't know if they'll be like a playing team. I think they'll be like that team that like you can go against the Lakers and they'll somehow beat you. Like
Right.
they'll be that sleeper team that's just gonna come out there and some nights and just kick
Yeah,
ass.
just absolutely kick
They-
your parlay in the teeth.
Yeah.
They remind me of like it might have been like 2018 when that young Brooklyn Nets team, where they
that
just
was-
had they had some vets, they had some young guys,
And, like,
and they were
D-Lo.
just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like
They
you knew
were.
they weren't going to win a chip, you knew they weren't going to like go far, but you just like
And the
you
culture
if you
they
saw them
had
playing,
on
you'd
that
say,
team.
yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Tyus Jones play with Jordan Poole,
Yeah,
like
he'll
him
be
have a
like a
real
starter,
point
too.
guard to set him
Yeah.
up and stuff. So.
I think it'll be a fun team.
And then
to
just
watch.
like bringing Kyle Kuzma back, that's
And they got him
that's
for
what you should do.
decent contract. He's a wing, shoot, offensive scorer. I think he's gonna be
Coming
good.
off basically his best season, like that's what you should do.
And then now you have. I really like. I know it's being so controversial, but I really like the Wizards team. Like that 3, that's a good front court. I swear to God, it really is.
Yeah.
Now you just gotta work on the end. and
For
see
what
how
they're
they
trying
play.
to do, yeah.
It is for how much they could have done with that no trade clause. They got a decent return. So decent.
You got a
Not
little,
saying
Decent.
crazy.
little itch for
Not saying crazy.
the show. You got something? to
Nah,
say?
I was talking about our top 3 winners.
Oh yeah, let's throw them out there real quick. Let's make it quick though.
For my top 3, I got no order: Lakers, Clippers, and Heat.
All right. I'm only gonna give 2 just because there's just 2 that really like come to mind. The Lakers for sure, and then I don't know. We're just gonna say the Lakers.
It's the Lakers. They just really like the Lakers in this one.
I'm gonna go Lakers. Give me the Warriors.
You like the Warriors?
I do like the Warriors.
Mm.
Just run it back. Let's do it. And then give me the Pelicans because Hurt's my guy.
All right. For my top 3 that I like, and this is not being biased, like any teams I do like or don't like. I think the Lakers won it. That's my one winner, but these ones next 2 are probably not like no order. I think the Cavs also are up there, getting that depth, and I also kind of like what the Grizzlies did this year as well. Those are probably my winners.
Yeah, Cavs in 4. That's free agency. No, nothing else.
All right.
If we're talking about losers, I'm gonna do my losers real quick. Rockets, you took an L. Magic, you took an L. And I don't know. There's not other teams didn't take like a huge L. I think those 2 teams just took.
Portland.
Yeah, Portland.
Portland.
Unfortunately,
Portland took the L.
yeah.
Portland was
Unfortunately,
the
for
biggest
Portland, you
L.
didn't do it exactly your fault. It's part of Dame, but you did take an L. So those are 3 teams that I say that they lost. The free
Maybe by
agency.
next pod we'll have Dame going somewhere.
Yeah, we'll
And,
see. But yeah, I agree with his losers. And yeah, if anybody else has any losers, we good? All right, y'all.
Good episode.
It was another episode for y'all. And please like and subscribe and follow us on Spotify as well. But peace, y'all.